micro beef sushi?
I would say that almost no matter what's going on, whatever this is doesn't have a deep grasp of sushi.
Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Show my screen here. Rice covered in cow cells aims to provide nutritious, sustainable food.
These people.
Micro beef sushi costs about the same as plain rice.
Oh, good.
But how does it taste? I don't know if you color deficient guys here in the room can tell that is vaguely beef colored rice. Like vaguely blood colored rice.
It's not appetizing.
So the actual article this is based on, I do have the graphical abstract that I will show you momentarily, but is behind a paywall. And I think that, and I will share with you a line from the summary, but this article kind of does the trick. So I'm just going to read this to you. Scientists in South Korea have come up with an out-of-the-box idea for providing the world with nutritious, sustainable food: coating rice grains with cow cells. The advance, reported today in Matter, aims to provide an ever-growing human population with tasty meals while preserving land that would otherwise be needed to raise livestock. To make the microbeef sushi, as the scientists call it, they first created an edible coating for rice grains from fish gelatin. That gave cow muscle and fat cells something to stick to. Then they incubated the grains with each type of cell. The final result, steamed hybrid rice, pictured above, contained more carbs, fat, and protein than ordinary rice. According to the researchers, eating 100 grams of hybrid rice is nutritionally like, wait for it, eating 100 grams of regular rice plus 1 gram of beef brisket. The gains are astounding. Perhaps more importantly, the researchers estimate the cost of their new rice could be only 3 cents more per kilogram wholesale than ordinary rice, and its production, they claim, would emit less carbon than the equivalent amount of rice and beef, largely by offsetting the need for carbon-intensive livestock operations. But the real question is, how does this hybrid rice taste? According to the researchers, it has a, quote, rich flavor. The muscle rice had beefy and smoky notes, and the fat rice was sweet, buttery, and creamy. Would you try it?
All right. That is not the question. That is not the question. The question.
You don't want to show the picture of micro beef sushi once more, Zach? It's pretty awesome.
All right. The question, actually,
Yes.
is what the hell are they talking about? If these are cow cells, one of several things has to be going on. Either this does not reduce the need for cattle because you're using the cells in some other way, right? Or
they've got some totipotent strain in the lab that they're just using to produce.
That's what I'm wondering. Is if this is
cells, which is probably what they're doing.
What we have been predicting forever, which is, hey, guess what? Your lab meat is going to be gross. It's going to be really gross. Oh, well, okay, we've got this all this investment in lab meat. Maybe what we can do is we can put it in a thin coating on rice. Right?
So bad.
Yeah. So I don't know that that's what they're doing, but
this is the graphical abstract, and frankly, it's not all that clear. This is the graphical abstract from the actual article, where they've got fish gelatin and some unspecified food grade enzyme. Again, I didn't have access to the 50-page original research, so I don't know what they mean by food grade enzyme. Then they add either, and it's bovine myoplast, that's the muscle tissue, or bovine ADMSC, which is fat cells, to make cell organized rice grains. In which the resulting cultured meat rice, boy, doesn't that look like a bowl of disgusting, has, notice how they've changed the measures here. They've got carbs in grams and protein and fat in micrograms to make it look, or milligrams to make it look like there's more of them.
But look, either they're pulling a chicken nugget thing, where they're taking a bunch of parts of a chicken that you can't actually sell to people because they'll be grossed out, and jumbling them in a way that you can pretend that it's a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
Right? Either they're doing that, they're using a byproduct, and they're turning it into a coating, right? Which does not have, there's no good argument for this over cooking rice in beef stock. Mm-hmm. Which has the same effect.
Using just a little bit of tallow even.
Right.
Like something.
Yes.
Right?
Like an actual ingredient on an actual food. That's called cooking.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So this wizardry that they're doing is either about using a byproduct and making a profit out of it by pretending it's food, mm-hmm. or it's about lab meat, in which case they've got a source of cells that might in some way be superior because you're growing it in a lab and you don't have to house a cow, but a lot of us are not up for this, and they're not saying it.
Yep.
Or this is not the solution to any problem because they're using food grade beef. And
I mean, I think we can agree here, just between you and me anyway, and Zach, that this is not the solution to any problem, regardless of how they're getting their beef cells.
They barely even say it's a solution to a problem. You would have, I mean...
Well, here, so let me put on my screen one more time. This is all that's available publicly at the moment from the actual paper. Rice grains integrated with animal cells, a shortcut to a sustainable food system. So that's what they're claiming, is sustainability. They've got...
Yeah, but
let me just read the last sentence here of... the two last sentences. The rice grains are transformed into a hybrid food with animal nutrients by containing organized bovine cells. We discuss the food properties and production value of this rice-based meat to evaluate its potential as a sustainable food that guarantees safety from food crises and global warming.
guarantees safety.
Guarantees safety from food crises and global warming. That is how we will save the world.
Well, no, I
with
get...
micro beef sushi.
I get what they are saying, but... 100th, 1 gram per 100 grams. So if you want to have a steak, you can have 500 kilograms of rice.
Well, as an MRE, I get it.
Steak.
That would be a really big steak. 500 grams.
That would be a somewhat large steak.
How many? That would
be about a pound. So I guess that's a large steak. But regardless, you get the scale.
Okay.
Do you remember in the movie Brazil? Mm-hmm. There is a dining scene where they go to what would be a fancy restaurant if it were not in a dystopian film. Mm-hmm. And the restaurant... Is this like
the mom? Is this the plastic surgery mom?
It's the plastic surgery mom and her son, Sam. Mm-hmm. And Sam is trying to convey something important, and the mom and her friend, who are going to ultimately die of plastic surgery in the movie, are interested in their lunch out, but the restaurant basically involves a menu in which it proposes some delicious things that you might order, but all of the things are basically a scoop of mush that is presumably flavored differently depending upon which number. You had to say the number, remember?
Yeah.
For some reason, the waiter required you to say the number, right? You couldn't just point to the thing that you didn't really want. But anyway, this lumps of proteinaceous mush, properly anticipated by the movie Brazil.
Indeed. Micro beef sushi. Soon to arrive at stores near you.